Hello everyone, welcome back to today. We are checking out Value by ADO. Now, I'm ready to jump into this. I hope you're all as well. Let's just hit play in 3, 2, 1, play. Okay. Ooh. Nice. Ooh, that was interesting. We had like a little cutout on the instrumentation as we were getting a synth rise on this new segment here. I want to go back actually a bit to this segment here. Yeah, we have like a little break there. Coming in with guitar. Ooh, that is a really nice drum. I love a good kick drum. That sounds so clean right there. Nice. Nice. I love how the bass guitar matches the drum set there. That sounds so nice. I really love how ADO just weaves different like aspects of her voice with like all these different types of instrumentation. This is actually pretty unique. Usually ADO I feel lends more to like big impact, but this is like a really nice, like fairly consistent rise for our instrumentation, and then we're just having that those really emotional moments with the vocals there, which I really like. We got a couple moments where I believe we had supporting vocal tracks layered very softly under the main vocal, but I'm really liking the spotlight so far. Oh, that was interesting. So we kind of introduced our next segment over the sustain of the previous one. That's interesting. I would have definitely expected like a cutout to kind of savor that sustain there, but instead we just drove over that sustain. Which is, I mean, that's fine if we're gonna have like a much bigger one later on, but if not, I would have liked to kind of savor the sustain for a little bit, but I'm hoping that means we get a much bigger one later. Kind of love the whisper vocals there for a little bit. Complete switch up actually there. That was pretty smooth, but I suppose that lends itself to the ambient like synth tracks and stuff, especially with the type of percussion we've been using. It's not too difficult to transition, but it was still a very clean and pretty sudden transition there. I was not expecting, especially since we just came out of that sustain into a honestly like a more clear vocal. So I was expecting us to kind of continue off of that, but instead we just kind of switched on to a new segment, which is not bad, but I was not expecting that at all. Yeah, we just kind of completely abandon that track and then come back here. I like how that's layered though. Those vocal layerings there are really, really nice. 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 I love how she gets that like vibrato in those, even those like short bursts where she kind of like, and it's not even like a quick constriction of the throat like I usually talk about. Like I really like how like ADO and Unnamed and vocals like that, they do those like quick constrictions of the throat and shoot up high. This wasn't that. This was just like, it was like operatic almost, you know. It was very open and supported, but she just kind of lifted up, and that was it. I love how she added the vibrato into that and then kept going. She kept it very fluid, very dynamic there. Like the transition there was so smooth. This is an interesting follow-up though. Yeah, there's some interesting compositional choices here, because I would have completely expected us to like for example, those like supporting chorals there. I was expecting us to kind of savor that, but not just use it as like a quick interjection and then like continue off of it. And that's, I'm not saying this in a negative way. I'm just saying it's very like it's very unexpected how we're organizing these little compositional elements. Like right there, we had like a little like a choral run, which I was expecting to kind of like run into our next segment that we've been building up, right? Because it sounds like you can hear that the track would keep continuing if we don't just cut it off. So it's odd that we're not really savoring those like big moments to show off ADO's voice. But that makes me very hopeful that we're doing that in a build-up for a big moment we're gonna get towards the end. So I'm crossing my fingers. I'm hoping. Okay, another switch up. Nice, and we've even, you can hear the voice actually coming up without the instrumentation, so we're actually having a vocal driven lift there. But we're like right here we've got like some like jazz shell voicings that we kind of shifted to, and it's very interesting how we're piecing these all together, and I'm really hoping there's a big payoff at the end. But even still, this is still a really, really solid composition on its own. Ooh. Okay. 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 Come on. Okay, interesting. Oh. Okay. Okay. Oh. We definitely did get that big moment, right? We definitely did get that big moment that I was hoping for. I mean, we got a lot of intensity there, but I was expecting it not to continue off of what we'd already pulled off, right? Because we didn't like necessarily shift our chorus too much. We still did the sustain, and then we still continued the next segment over that sustain. We didn't have like an isolated sustain where, you know, you'd expect the percussion to drop out and then maybe the after that you'd have a kind of like a synth guitar pull out and then come back in with a follow-up drum. You know, that's a very like common kind of instrumental pull out for intensity trick that a lot of you can say trick, but it's just a composition element that a lot of people like to use, and because it works, it works for those big impact moments. But instead we actually kind of ran through the sustain here for another time, which was interesting. There's a lot of like cool little details here that like you don't necessarily have to like pick them out when you're noticing it, and you can just kind of treat it as like a very nice emotional song. But I really think it's really fun how we're switching things around here. We're not like we're playing around with the functionality of our, or well, not the functionality, but the function of our sustains and our choral supports and our little interjections. We're instead of using those as elements to shift over through a segment or to the next segment or support the main vocal, we're instead kind of cutting them off and using them as just a little like some of them are like almost like little feints, right? You kind of use them as a feint, and then you continue, or you have like a soft like switch up, and it's very unexpected. You know, I commented on that earlier when we had the I believe it was around here where we had like a little stain, and then we ran through, and then we had a switch up. Right there, I think that was one of the first ones, and then you know, it's unexpected, but it's very fun. I do think that I would have really preferred for that last chorus if we had like a really big isolated moment for ADO, but nonetheless, this was an awesome showcase, and I think what really pays off is how emotional, and like you could hear the vocal wavering and that she was doing, and getting that emotion in her voice towards the end, especially towards the end. That was, I think that really was the main impact part of the song. Not necessarily that last chorus, but that was a lot of fun, and I wasn't really expecting an iPad ad, but I guess that's why you read the description first, because I can see in the description it does say Apple Music. And made on iPad. Okay, so it looks like this video was actually made. Okay, yeah, it was made on iPad. That's interesting. But yeah, I mean, all in all, this was a really cool song from ADO. So I hope you all enjoyed. As always, feel free to recommend more things for me to check out in the comments below. And aside from that, I'll see you all next time. Thank you so much.